What is going on, everybody? We are back again for episode number 17 of the Dragon Ball Legends Desert Podcast. This is just your daily or weekly audio check, rather. So let me know in chat how everyone sounds. If we need to change any audio levels, just let me know. And Pomzor, why don't you take the floor?
Hey, thanks, Nas, and welcome everybody to Dragon Ball Legends Podcast, episode 17, Drier Than the Desert. Before we start, make sure to check out our !Linktree command so you can follow us on all our social media, stay updated, and, check out our YouTube, follow us everywhere. You know the stuff, do it. With that said, today we have 6 guests and 2 first-timers on the Legends podcast. You may know one of them, maybe not. We'll see. So today I am joined by Brad.
What up?
I'm joined by Dragon Ball Joe.
Hey guys.
Nas Dorachi.
Hello there.
We have Prof in here.
Hello.
And we have the first timer that you may have heard of. I don't know, Truth, do you want to introduce yourselves for those people who don't know you?
Technically, I'm a veteran from when we had Dokkan and Legends at the same time, right? But I guess when the split happened, this is my first time here, suppose.
Yeah, that is true. You know, he's a veteran, as you said.
But first timer on 5-9 Legends, right? And the second first timer who actually just joined very recently is Tom. So Tom, for those of you who don't know you, just say a few words about yourself.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, everybody. My name is Tom FPS. I'm pretty active over here on Twitch, basically streaming the PvP grind every day while aiming for the top 100, even though I suck at the game. You might know or not, my favorite unit is Super Kaioken Goku, the MVP. And I'm basically free to play like everybody else on the podcast. I don't take myself too serious. So if you ever want to commentate on my amazing gameplay, just come over and check me out.
Chat, I'm going to tell you
this.
Basically, oh, go ahead, finish up.
That's basically it.
And chat, do not challenge Tom when he's got Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan 3 when you have blue Spirit Bomb Goku from the shop. It will end poorly. That's my no context warning.
You'll see what happens with that later.
Nas has PTSD. So today, the podcast title already kind of suggested we have exactly 2 topics. We have Zenkai LF Piccolo, and we're going to talk about the announcement of Zenkai Android 21, the free-to-play one. And I think I am the only person on this podcast who has Zenkai 7 Piccolo, the LF one. So I'm going to start us off with that one. I Zenkai'd him. I have him at red 1 stars, and he's pretty cool. I like that Vanish Restore that he has. And in the late game, after you transform, he actually gets card draw speed. He has the cheap blue card if he's been on the field for, I think, 10 counts. And using the green card to time the blue card is pretty helpful. Other than that, I still think that DKP is a little bit ahead of him just because he steals Dragon Balls. But I run both of them on the same team. I think I'm ranked, 22 right now, Prof? You just checked it a little bit ago, right? It's like you're 24, Tom is 23, and I'm 22. And that team works really well, except when you're coming against hybrids and 2 reds, you're just screwed.
I'm assuming you're running Piccolo, DKP, and then, a third Zenkai, I feel like Fat Boo or something.
Yeah, Fat Boo.
Yeah, I could see red being a huge weakness for that team because we're still waiting on the 21 to give them something blue.
The only blue I have on that team is Baby, and I'll bring him, but it's not the same. Like, I would bring Baby, DKP, and Fat Boo if I'm running against 2 reds.
Has Super Saiyan 2 Gohan been a threat?
Oh, yeah.
A big threat.
Just a little bit. I don't know, how have your encounters been?
Encounters.
Have you ever had any?
I've seen this man twice.
Yeah, I haven't even seen him in combat once, and I'm not as high as y'all, but I'm top 2,500, so I've been putting in some work. At least, 50 or 60 fights this season. I have not seen him a single time.
Either have I. I haven't fought him.
I've seen him once. Same. I've seen him once, yeah. I think it's not a lot of people have him like 7 stars already, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, coming right off the New Year's, and then having UI Goku still lingering, and then the New Year's banners, and then all the Zenkais like the God Vegeta. I would assume that not many people were in a position to top up again to just go nuts on that Legends Return Piccolo step up to get him to 7 stars in the first place. So I think that would probably be the main problem. Like them introducing him so close to people just blowing their financial load, so to speak, after the New Year's, that the interest levels are not really there.
A lot of people got him off of the Broly banner, even if you didn't have to go for it. And there's the guaranteed Legends Limited. I think a lot of people got a hold of Piccolo. It's just, we were talking about Z7. You can go ahead and Z7 him for free if you're, waiting with the Ultra Space Time Rush. And so it's like a lot of people are going to take their time with this unit.
They even have him at 7. I mean, I got him, I think, twice on the New Year, on the guaranteed Legends Limited banner, but also a bunch on Broly. So yeah, that's exactly how I got him up there.
Yeah, I got him first time on Broly, so he's 2 stars. And it's taking time with him. I'm just doing the Ultra Space Time Rush to just gather his Zenkai souls, but that's it. Taking my time.
I think it says a lot that even Truth, you said you don't even have him 7 stars, right?
Yeah, I actually got him for the first time in the Broly banner. I was thinking about it because I've got like 2,700 of the Legends tickets or whatever, so I could get 2 copies of him there and then just pull 1 copy either on the Broly or the other banner. But I was like, I don't know if regen is really what I want to run with Go, because I haven't seen Piccolo, but I'll tell you who I do see every match is goddamn Gohan is everywhere.
Yeah.
All you fight is Gohan. So it's like, you know what, I'm good. And I don't have Demon King Piccolo Zenkai either, so it's like,
I think it says a whole lot more that you don't even have him up there. And you did a couple summons on Broly. Not too many, I guess. But
yeah.
Well,
Vegeta is the one that gave me trouble. I did like 200k more crystals on his banner than Broly's, and they're the same star level, so.
Only 200k. That's free-to-play numbers, bro. That's
I only picked up 1 copy of Piccolo in all of my New Year's summoning, and that included the LF guaranteed banner. So mine's still only sitting at 3 stars. So
yeah, I have 3 stars as well.
And I am not the one. I'm not the one to go in on that Legend Step Up banner for Piccolo. No, I'm good.
Nope.
That banner is terrible.
Well, I mean, I had a friend that went for it because he just loves the Piccolo, and just glowing reviews from this unit so far. And I gotta say,
it's a good unit, no doubt. Yeah.
Just if you're not a region main, this is asking a lot of you to pick up as an extra unit. Like a new Goku or Vegeta unit comes on, you kind of just slide it on in there with your current team. This unit is pretty much for YYB or just straight up region.
Yep.
Yeah, because the other team that he's formatted for, like the Raditz and Vegeta
Saiyan
level
Saga.
Saiyan Saga, that has no meta whatsoever in the game right now. So, I mean, you could theoretically run him with the EX Zenkai Raditz and like, I don't even know, like the Feet Coup. Like, it's just, I don't think that would really get you that far competitively speaking.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's an extreme. It's 2 blues. I don't know.
It'd be like EX Nappa, EX Scouter Vegeta, the Sparking Scouter Vegeta, Zenkai. Like the team would be really awkward for sure, and I don't think
You could top 10k with it.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you're not placing above top 3k unless you're like really good. And there's better options you could always run.
Or you're
Way
just
better
right
options.
along. Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that. His stats are really amazing, though. I mean, this is the 2nd transforming Zenkai unit? Do we have more than 2?
Namekoku, I think.
Namekoku's one, yeah.
Yeah, Namegoku I knew was the other one, and then this one. But is there any 3rd one? I don't think so. But regardless, because of that, his stats are absurdly high after transforming. And then with DKP doing the double Zenkai buff, should you be running that combo, like he's statted out the butthole. So I mean, he's definitely good. But
have you tried the because I've heard like Garesh talking about Demon King Piccolo, and then LF Goku as the blue rather than using like Baby or anything like that. Have you tried that out?
No, I haven't tried that one, but I've seen it on Twitter. I think Raditz, the guy from Game Press, discussed this a little bit, but I didn't even have that idea. No, I haven't.
that actually, even though they don't necessarily buff each other, that's just so many oppressive units together that you still could probably have a decent amount of success with that.
Yeah, and Bardock
hit
on the
on the
back
bench,
end
Broly.
buffing up Nameku. You could make that work.
Yeah, and then hit an Extreme Broly and you're good.
Yeah.
He's also decent against like units like Broly, obviously, because he nullifies the blast armor, doesn't he? Like 50%. So he's good against those sort of units again.
He does extra damage, yeah. Just
Yeah,
like,
he does extra damage 50%.
just like I think the blue Gogeta, is he the only other one that does that? The
Uh,
transforming one?
yeah, I do.
Gogeta, yeah.
Yeah, I think they gave it to Gogeta Blue as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
Okay.
the both Gogetas had that as far as I know. The blast armor thing.
It's definitely not many units that have that, so it's
Oh, we'll start getting more though. The more because blast armor's
Yeah.
on like everything now. It's how they make a unit really. Look at Jiren. Blast armor's just everywhere now. So the more and more they do that, more and more it's going to play into hand for certain units. So it's a good thing though. I mean, I like to see stuff like that because it kind of, I don't know, slows it down while keeping the same pace. I guess without making it too crazy one sided.
Yeah, we're starting to see more cover change units now as well, so they're always adding loads of new stuff in. But the cover changing units has been a pain when they like bring Broly, Gogeta, and like UI Goku at the same time or something stupid. Like it's so annoying to play against.
I still love the fact that they are keeping the format of doing the LL Zenkais for free, assuming you have them at 7 stars. I just wish that some of them were a little bit more accessible. Like this will be permanent, so whenever I get Piccolo to 7 stars, I'll be able to do it for free. But it might take quite a while.
In a year.
Tom, what do you think about him?
Well, in high rank, I basically only fight this one guy with a 14-star LF Piccolo. And if you don't bring a red, then you basically have to Rising Rush him. I think Prof knows the guy I'm talking about. Basically, every unit 14 stars, Japanese letters.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but he's running God Key. I've ran into his 14-star Gogeta. Well, no, it's 13-star. That's how we know he's not Goresh. But, yeah, that guy's got everything 14-star, but no, I haven't seen his Piccolo. And in fact, one of the more notorious players I run into that runs Reach and that my whole chat was expecting to see with it doesn't even have this Piccolo done. So it's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't want to badmouth, but yeah, everybody knows who this is, but they still don't have it. And so that blew us away. It's like, geez.
Yeah, mine is basically 2 stars, and I don't think I'm ever going to Senka him.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, Regen is, assuming the 21 is going to be good as well, you don't really need him to still have a functional team with Regen. Like, you can do just fine without this Piccolo and still run that team. But
the way that I look at like these, this is where Zenkai is a positive, right? A lot of us always look at the negative because you're spending on it, units aren't on banners, whatever else. Once you get it, that's just another Zenkai buffer. That's cool. I like having Zenkai buffers. That's where Zenkai is so positive. That you can just run these crazy teams. So now you can double buff some yellow unit that comes out in the future that maybe you get easily, right? You only have them at 2 stars, but you really want to try them. Well, maybe you got DKP and Piccolo to buff them up now. I like it for that. It's just, it's hard to look optimistic on it when it's like Piccolo did not need it, but do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, it also makes sense too, like why they skipped to Piccolo. Like maybe they don't want to beef up San family anymore right now and give it to Goten or something, right? And I mean, arguably the LF Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta could have probably snagged it as well because Vegeta family still needs the help. But at least they didn't just railroad another San family Zenkai at us, right?
They did Nameku right. As long as they do Goten and Super Saiyan 3 like Nameku, it's fine. I mean, they did Nameku perfectly fine. He's not overpowered. He's not ridiculous, but he's really good and definitely viable. But he doesn't like take Sun Family top like Gohan did, right? As long as they do the similar thing, I don't see an issue with it. It's just, I get what you're saying. They got to space it out, but Vegeta should have come first, probably.
Well, I think the team that needs the next one, and I'll just throw that in there, is Legends Limited Frieza. I know if they're willing to do them out of order, just give it to Frieza next.
Yeah,
I kind of agree.
LOE will murder stomp when he gets one. Like,
who would actually
they're already
be the
really
next
good
one
with
in
that.
line?
I'm voting Frieza. If they're willing to do them out of order, if you think about all the Legends Limited, the only other one I can think of that just doesn't see play time, well, not much at least, he's getting some more is the Vegeta. But the Frieza, his item makes him tanky, but his damage doesn't feel like it did when it came out, right? And he would definitely revive LOE if he comes into the scene. So I'm looking forward to Frieza Zenkai.
Yeah, and the question, who is the next one, I think would be Super Vegito, right? Or did Goten come out before?
No, it doesn't matter the order they're coming out in.
Drop right before. Yeah, but let's say we go out of order, like Prop is saying. Frieza does probably need it, but it really could be him or Vegeta. Vegeta's stats are really low. Goresh pointed out to me the other day, and I was like, his stats are really low, like comparatively. So he does need it, and then Frieza, and then I don't really want Super Vegeta to get it, but Fusions is still in him, but he will get it eventually. Yeah,
they're doing these Legends Limited Zenkais about every 3 months, right? And if we follow that path, it seems like we might be getting another one right around the 3rd anniversary, and they seem to like doing fusions around 3rd anniversary. So I would expect Super Vegito around then if they were going to drop it soon.
Which honestly isn't really that far away. It's like it's 3 months away.
It's in June, right?
End of May.
The end of May,
beginning of June.
Yeah.
So there would be one in between potentially.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Frieza and then Super Vegito.
I mean, if we're talking optimal, what I'd want to see for that is I'd want to see like a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that's purple, and then they Zenkai the old Vegito to buff purple Fusion Warriors. I think that'd be super dope. I'd like that, but I don't know if we'll see that.
Watch Zenkai Super Vegito be better than Gogeta. I could imagine that.
Oh, he will be. Oh no, he will be. That's not. That's how it kind of works. But at least then you can buff him. I mean, look at Gogeta Blue, and then they gave us Vegeta, so he will be. It's just. I could at least then be comfortable using a unit that I don't have very high stars, or, if you're like a free to play with 2 or 3 stars, you can get in there and have a Zenkai buffer right out the gate. Potentially. I mean, that's intending you have Super Vegito 7 stars, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's on a lot of banners. He's also on the Rush banner, so I think that's probably one of the more likely units that people have at 7 stars, because he'll be also 3 years old by then, right?
Yeah, I think mine's 13 stars.
2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. He's
2 years old by that point.
To this day, right now, like he doesn't dish out the damage like he did, but man, that main ability is still brutal. So I wouldn't say worried about it, but not looking forward to his Zenkai. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Watch Vegito Blue get it first.
I mean, he'll be 3 years old and still be the main purple unit on his team.
Right? Wait, you don't run Super Saiyan Gotenks?
Oh, you're true. My bad, Mr. Fusion, Mr. Hybrids. But yeah, that Gotenks, man.
Honestly, Gotenks could get a Zenkai too, and that'd be really good for fusions. But leading into that, and then Super Vegito would get pushed back a little bit. It wouldn't be that big a deal. But Gotenks, that'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind that.
I'm pretty sure the Super Vegeta Zenkai is gonna rival Gohan. Just based off his kit.
If they do it right, yeah. If they do it, I mean, actually, even if they do it wrong, he's pretty damn good still, like Prof said. He still at least holds up well enough. It's not necessarily great, but he does the job.
We don't want him to eclipse Gohan. We want him to be an option that Gohan is not on a team with. We do not want another VB situation.
Yeah.
Standard has been. I keep seeing people that were mad that Gogeta Blue didn't just win the game. I'm like, did you not experience the 2nd anniversary? We don't want this.
Legends learned, did we not?
Yeah. And I mean, again, speaking of the return banner that came with the Piccolo, I mean, just don't do it. It's terrible. I don't know. Has anybody summoned on this one?
Oh my god. Nope. I didn't summon on it, but it's literally an identical repeat of the last time it was around, containing some of the worst possible characters like you could possibly put on one banner for a 2021 release, right?
Even on that one, I'm gonna have a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it has what, Green Cell, Green Baby Vegeta, Super Janemba, Piku, Baby, Buhan, Kid Buu, Fat Buu, Demon King. Piccolo is probably the best character on this banner, but
that's rough,
man.
Yeah, that are 2 good ones.
Yeah, it would have been so much better and more acceptable if they had even just reformatted like the units that were on it, right? Like, it would have been worth summoning on potentially if they just kind of
put on like Red Cell or something. You know,
throw Red Cell on there, throw some newer characters on there. I guess they wanted to keep it mostly regeneration themed, and their main problem is they haven't had like a wealth of units releasing, recently. But even still, they could have made that banner a little bit more attractive if they wanted to actually get some sales out of it.
Yeah, I agree.
What about
even Piccolo's stands not really going in?
Sorry, go ahead, Prof.
I'm sorry, I kind of cut them off too, but what about just updating the current, Zenkai banner, with
The
just
Masters Pack Z thingy?
yeah, like I don't know. That should be where you're trying to pull these units, and maybe during the duration of the Piccolo banner, his rates are personally increased.
That would make more sense.
Like put the 0.5% on the Master Pack Z banner, but all the other Zenkais are currently on it, so you're not just screwed if you don't get Piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
they did
too
it with-
much sense.
Who
They
what?
did it with Beerus before, right? I remember that.
What was that?
They did that with Beerus before. Where he had the
Yeah,
higher-
he had a higher rate banner that came back, but it's pretty much his other banner, right?
Yeah, you're right. And yeah, now we're
about
screwed with
the-
this atrocity of a banner.
What about the Ultra Space Time Rush banner as well? That sort of needs to be looked at.
I mean,
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
I mean, they could at least add the LFs that get a Zenkai there.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Sure.
Gohan is old enough, but Namekoku, a lot of people still don't have him at 7 stars, and Piccolo, well, enough said that I am the only one who has him at Zenkai 7 here.
Yeah, again, I would have gone for it for sure, just because it's free. But the star requirement is gating me out from being able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, also lots of people said maybe they should have had the requirement for LF units at least to 3 stars, which makes it also attainable through having the 100 multi-Z power, for example. You just say, okay, this unit got a Zenkai, I'm going to drop my 100 multi-Z power, and that's fine. But this way, no way. And no way people are going to summon that much for a unit that many people think is subpar.
Well, I think that, as with a lot of the newer units that come out, you need some stars to make them usable. This is a gacha game. You do have to have a premium unit, if you would, right? And I think if you can make the argument that DKP, a highly accessible unit, is better than him, I think, one, we're in a good position. And two, that, you could make the argument that Piccolo is better, but you got to, put all the effort in to make the team. I know a lot of people are going to come at me with the pitchforks, but I kind of like that some units still have that exclusive factor to them.
Yeah, I mean, if anything else, it makes them feel a little bit more valuable. Whether or not some of that value is artificial or not, I guess, remains to be seen. But I know that was their plan. They wanted these Legends Limited units to feel valuable. I just don't know if you make them feel valuable by making them harder to get, or if you actually just make them more competitive, right? There's got to be a tightrope to walk there, where it's a little of both, I guess.
I just think it's the gacha aspect, right? You're not going to be hyped to pull, another copy of a hero unit, but you are hyped to pull the Legends Limited, and it's because the Legends Limited are the premium units. If they don't have that oomph factor to the summons, then your game's going to get real dry really quickly.
That's fair enough. And I mean, like many of us have seen it on stream or on their videos as well, right? When you pull, I don't know, UI Goku or Gogeta Blue or something, people just go nuts.
Yeah.
And when you pull another Raditz Nastarachi, it's like, right?
Well, wait,
Yeah.
what were the chances of that even happening, though? This man has the luck of the gods.
Yeah, the 0.02% luck of the gods giving me exactly
Back to
what I
back.
don't want.
Zenkai Raditz next. Come on.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I think I actually could do him now. Now we've come to that point where he's shown up enough to screw me.
That came out wrong.
No context. 5'9", where are you at?
That's good. All right, I think is that pretty much everything we can say about Piccolo and his banner, or is there anything else you want to add before we move on?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, he is a really good unit, but he's got a really high price of admission to use him. I would say more so even than some of the other Legends Limited units, because they've been more widely available, like, and how many times they've come back and what banners they've been featured on. So I would assume that this one is going to be one that still kind of flies under the radar, where you don't see a lot of people using him other than people who were lucky or people who just really like Piccolo, and went out of their way to get him.
Fair enough. Okay, with that, let's move over to the other topic that we have, because we have so many topics this week. Cheers, Toshi. Brad, what do you think about the announcement for Zenkai 21, and what does it mean for regen android females. Sorry, girls.
And Transforming Warrior. I'll lead off with one thing then, just because we do have a fair amount of new players and stuff like that who've joined in the last couple months. Gogeta Blue and whatnot. She's totally going to be worth it. I guarantee it. Even if they only increase her stats when it comes to support, she's phenomenal. She helps every single team that she's a part of, which is amazing. It's one of the best things. And it's a switch buff too. It's not just kind of like your main ability, allies get increased damage, whatever else. She does so much for those teams. I don't really know if they're going to increase because right now she does minus 20% or minus 20 to special move arts cost for Android, 50% to key recovery for regeneration, 30% damage inflicted for girls, and 5 to blast cost for Transforming Warrior. I don't think they really had to increase that. I think it's just her stats. If they just give her some better stats, she'll instantly rocket right back up there. You're going to see a lot of Vados 21 and 18 for sure. That's going to be a nasty team alongside her on androids with Red Cell and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm excited for her. I really am. Yeah. Any kind of free Zenkais, I'm always down. I have no problem with that.
Well,
how do you guys feel about it?
I think she's one of the coolest units in the game. Completely unique model. I love her attack animation. I love her Rising Rush. So let's just get that out of the way. She's freaking awesome. I think that she uniquely debuffs the opponent every time she attacks. And if they ramp that up at all, yeah, she's going to be completely disgusting with 18. I'm really, really excited, and I'm hoping this is obviously a stretch. There's nothing to confirm this, but I'm hoping this is an omen that maybe in February we get the purple 21 Zenkai, and then we can have that meta back. But she was just such an amazing unit for so long. And I think that, as Brad was saying, that they just got to give her a slight nudge in the right direction, and she's going to be full force once again.
I think she's going to be insane. Like, combining her with Green 16 Zenkai and Android 18, or Kefla, and like Vados, like you said, like this team is going to be everywhere. You're going to be seeing a lot of her appear soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to revive a lot of teams.
Not only is she going to revive a lot of teams, but she's going to make some new combinations that weren't even available the first time that she came out, like, viable. Like, Vados wasn't even a thing, wasn't even a thought of probably in the developers' imagination
21
at the time.
21 wasn't even out yet. Like, that, she came out so long ago at this point. 9 months, right? It's not ridiculous, but it's long enough that it's like...
Oh, you mean Kefla?
I don't know, man. There's some units nowadays that did not exist that she's going to make really good.
My 18 Zenkai 1 right now, so this unit, Zenkai, is probably going to make me want a Zenkai 7 my 18 now because of how good the support is. Yeah. So yeah, she's going to have a huge impact. The support's crazy. It's going to make me spend money for crystals.
I really want to see more units like this that do so many teams in one. She encompasses so much. And she helps just a little bit to every single team. I want to see more units like that. This is a perfect free-to-play unit, in my opinion. This is the kind of free-to-plays we should be getting that help multiple teams or players who can't necessarily get like stacked units. Maybe you have like a Zenkai 3, 21, or 18, and then Vados is like 6-star or something. That's totally a viable girls team if she's good enough with her stats. Like, I want to see more units like this. This is perfect. So, we all dog on the whole Piccolo thing, but if they're doing this too to counteract the Piccolo thing, I can't be that mad at them, honestly.
Well, either counteract or supplement, right? Because she's also regen, so yellow,
That's
blue
true. Yeah.
could now be a
it
really
helps,
viable
it helps
thing.
the whales and the free-to-plays. That's true.
So this is speculation, but what do you guys think is Zenkai? Her Zenkai ability is going to buff?
I think Android or girls.
Yeah, I don't think she would buff regen with her Z ability because she's not even technically fully regen until she goes Majin, but they just gave her the tag anyway. So I would definitely see androids probably being the prior. Actually, I would honestly see girls over androids because she even has a second part of her Z ability that's like, one of those cherry on tops for girls teams. So I would see blue girls or blue androids. The problem with it being blue androids is until we get a new unit, that's not really going to help anyone on the team because that's their problem. They don't even have a functional blue. I don't think just having a blue android... Yeah, I don't... Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think this Zenkai ability will be enough to resurrect the blue 18, right? Like, she needs a Zenkai herself. So, if the Z ability for Zenkai is androids and blue, it's gonna require a new unit, I think. Or, like, Zenkaiing the old 13 or the 18 to really get value out of that. But if it's blue girls, you might be able to make something work. I mean...
Bulma?
We have Ribrianne, and you have Bulma. Yeah, Bulma would be more of like
Ribrianne's a good option. It's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do Bulma because Bulma's kind of support also, so you'd be like double stacking support. But Ribrianne would be pretty deadly, I would think.
Ribrianne could probably get a Zenkai. Honestly, wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean it's a similar situation
it would
for
be bad,
girls, but girls with Ribrianne, girls has a better blue option than androids does as like a secondary. But both of them kind of need a new blue unit.
The EX14 is okay. He's not. He gives a good buffer, but that's about it. Like,
I mean,
yeah, they definitely need something new. Yeah,
you would use him for like a BBP bench, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So what? She's gonna be what, the 25-20, 25-20? Because she's free to play.
Probably.
I would think so. Yeah.
Which is still good enough for her own. If she has decent stats, it's still good enough for her to be viable.
I would assume
we saw
that right on her release, there's not going to be very much value in her Zenkai ability. I mean, if it was girls or androids, even if it's regen, like it's still only really affecting baby. So I think you're bringing her for more of the support and the fact that they actually have like a counter to things like the double red Son family setups and stuff, right? The Zenkai ability's value will come in later once androids and regen get, another powerful blue unit. Because
So you're forgetting the goat fused with Kami Piccolo and also Bootanks?
Yeah,
Wait, real talk.
Bootanks he's really good.
If Bootanks didn't lose his buff so quickly, he'd be fantastic.
Yeah, he's even more burst than the green golden Frieza, which really works against him.
Honestly, I don't think her Zenkai ability matters. She's obviously going to get it from herself, so no matter what it is, she's most likely going to be the best in slot for region and androids. You won't. I can maybe see for region that you're wanting to run your double Zenkai buffers across the board and you can't fit the blue unit, sure. But for at least for androids, I definitely see her being the shining star for a long time coming.
Yeah, and girls for sure.
I mean, what do you think they're gonna do for the uniques for her?
I would see them adding more to the debuffs that she inflicts every time she attacks. Because right now, all it is health-related stuff. I mean, she gets the 15% to damage received, and then 15% to health restoration, right? I could see them adding, like, the ki, like how Red Frieza lowers ki a little bit every time. Well, he lowers it a lot. I would assume that she would lower it maybe like 10 or 20. They could add to that. They could buff up her green card a little bit, where maybe it gives her allies damage buff or ki restore. I think the blue card maybe could upgrade to destroy all of your enemies' special arts and special move cards on hit instead of only the green cards. And then maybe... I wouldn't think they would do too much to her first passive, the Destructive Android, the one that Brad was talking about, where she buffs 4 different tags on swap, and then if it happens to be Majin 21 you're swapping into, she gets all 4 of them. I would see them maybe bumping the numbers up on some of these, but I don't know if they would add another one, really. Like, this is a really well-built passive, so potentially
I think she definitely needs cover cut and some sort of damage while coming in, because she doesn't do any damage right now.
Yeah. I mean, a damage buff for herself... Well, she gets a 20%. That's it. Like, yeah. So they could definitely up that to like 40 or 50%, I think. And then she'd be good to go. And then, like you said, maybe some more defensive options. Because she's going to be coming in by default to square up to the likes of, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Gogeta, the red Zenkai Gogeta. So she's going to have some type of survivability, but I don't know how much they're going to give her.
I would like to see her kind of coupled with... we've been seeing units that can lower sub count. I would love it if she lowered sub count, like every time she did a Striker Blast Arts card or something fun like that.
Yeah, or
really
add it to her
synchronize
green.
well.
Yeah, yes. Do that.
So I could see one of her passives being one of the more indirect buffs.
I also think that they could beef up. They're going to beef up her main ability right now. Because right now, her main ability is just 2 sentences long. It's good stuff, like 20% damage inflicted for 60 timer counts, and applies negative 30% to enemy sustained damage cuts for 60. So the time limits on those are both amazing, but the actual effects themselves really are not that impactful in today's meta. So I see them maybe buffing the damage buff, adding her drawing a green card or a blue card, adding some key recovery or card draw speed. That would be great to buff up her main ability.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about how Gogeta Blue is held back by not having card draw speed. I think it's, in one way or another, it's part of almost any modern unit's kits to have some sort of a card draw speed. May it be on green like Broly. Well, Broly, okay, let's not talk about Broly. Or like DKP, for example, gets it when he swaps in for a couple of counts. All that kind of stuff they could do. I also see key recovery. And I'm curious, Truth, what does she need to make you switch your main team?
Man, she'd need to come with a Zenkai for the purple 21 at the same time. That's what we need.
Amen. Speaking
Both of them got it, yeah. Then I'd jump on. But the blue 21, I've never actually even used her, right? Like, because I wasn't playing when she came out, but I heard that the Z power drop rate for blue 21 was the absolute worst. Like, that was the worst grind Legends ever had. So that's the other thing too I'm interested to see is, like, are they going to update that when she drops? They have to, right? Like a ton of boost characters and shit.
I have to imagine that they restructure it like their little board game style mode, because this was before that when she came out. So yeah, hopefully they do restructure. He's right too. Like, I think I only got her to like 9 stars or 10, somewhere in that range, because it was oppressively low, the amount of power.
Yeah, I'm only at 7.
It was. Yeah, I gave up at 7.
Yeah, so he's not lying. This was the longest resource intensive grind I think that Legends almost has ever had.
Well, if I remember, you needed the purple 21, and she just come out summonable, and that was a big contention point for people. That it was like, I mean, obviously she was good with her,
yeah,
and it was worth the unit, but
even
it
with
was still
her boosting the drop rates, it was still like I couldn't get her. But like, I think I used up all my energy at the time, because this was also before all the new energy system improvements, right? So you didn't have no 9,000 energy possible to do this when it came out the first time. So yeah, I used up like all my energy just getting her to like 8 or 9 stars, and I was just like, all right, well, this is where we're at.
I bet it's going to be like our latest events, and you're just going to slide that skip ticket to 50 and be done in less than an hour. I bet this is going to be pretty painless this time around.
Yeah, now it's just the time limits to do all this. Like Broly, doing the red Zenkai Broly, it literally took me like 15 minutes, but it took 750 energy. So, which I'm all for that. I'd rather save time. Time is money. Not have to spend like hours farming and clicking through the event. Yeah.
I just noticed mine is also just 9 stars.
Yeah.
And I think I started grinding very, very late, because at one point people said she might not ever come back, and some people also said that because of the fighters collab that the other 17 might not come back. So that made me go a little bit harder for them. Let's see. We should be able to 14 star this time around. I hope that there are some more rate increase characters, and we should be good.
Yeah.
But then you'll need energy for grinding her to 14 and for the Zenkai.
So to elaborate on what Tom was just talking about, in these games, a lot of times it's a licensing issue, right? Where like say for example, Final Fantasy, right? They will license with Disney to do a collab summon banner for the Kingdom Hearts characters, right? And they can't just re-release the Kingdom Hearts characters whenever they want, because they have the license agreement with Disney to release them. So people were worried that there was going to be a licensing issue because these characters are Dragon Ball FighterZ characters, that they would be very difficult to have them return or something like that. But it does seem like from what I saw, did they ever add an end date? Like, is there an end date on this event, or is it just situated to stay up forever? Like some of the other Zenkai and free unit stuff that's going on.
I don't that much into it, but
yeah, I don't think
like
there was.
Around.
I don't think there was an end date. I'm going to Legends. Hold on, let me
I'm
bring this
looking
up.
right now.
So you click on this. It
Does
says
it say there is one?
Nope.
Oh yeah, they
So maybe it's
explicitly
like-
don't even show it.
yeah, scheduled
Right.
event, bleh. So
It's been
as
there
of,
for a long time.
as of right now, there's no end date listed. Now, that's not to say that they won't add one like after the event actually goes live, and this information just hasn't been found yet. But it could very well just be available forever, which that would be great for the pacing of the grind. You know, if it's anywhere near as bad as it was originally. Otherwise, this is just there's no excuse for any player to not do this if it's just indefinitely here. Like, get your free unit Zenkaier. She's gonna be way better than like the free EX Zenkais that are just around all the time, so there's no reason to not do it.
Well, and if this unit is permanently available, this is one of the best free-to-play moves they have made in a long time. Like, they keep dropping these EX Zenkais, but they're very, very restrained on where they go. She's going to go on 3 different teams effectively, and if she is there forever, I mean, I'd point to any new player, pick up 21 right away, make a region or Android team.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I mean, get her at least 7 stars. If you're free to play and you're kind of slacking on energy a little bit, which even not free to play they're doing that, at least get her to 7 stars. It's totally going to be viable and worth it, even just with a little Zenkai buff or whatever it might be. It's worth it.
And they usually have those daily missions you can do every day. Use 1 skip ticket, 1 energy, you get 100 power. Wait 10 days, new level. Keep going, right?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much how I approached the extreme ones.
If they follow that pattern, this could be really good for the game.
Agree.
I just hope she's gonna be better than Broly. I'm
Well,
not satisfied with what they did to Broly.
Why not?
Which Broly? Wrathful?
Yeah, the
The red
Wrathful.
one.
So he's basically the one we compare her to, since he's free to play as well. But I grinded him the first day, and I'm not impressed.
He does. He takes a little bit of time to get going. The only thing I like about him is he can take hits pretty well. Like, he's pretty chonky in terms of defense, but outside of that, like, it takes a second to ramp up his damage, but
The way that I look at it, and like maybe this is the improper way, is like it's something for people to get in their box, you know, if they're just a collector or something. And for me, that's almost cooler than like always being able to jump into PvP, because there's more viable teams than movies. Movies is good now, but there's more viable teams than that. I think it's just cool to give people something that's like, hey, like Prof always says, you got something shiny in your box now. Like, and I like that. I think that's a cool thing, just get those free kind of things. So I agree with you that Wrathful isn't amazing, but for what he is, he does the job for the time being. Like I said, worst case, he defaults to his Zenkai buffer. Could be worse, you know. It looks cool in your box.
14 stars, Zenkai
Free
7.
unit.
Yay.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
never say no to free stuff. But
Yeah,
they
100%,
definitely
but
in that
maybe
vein,
don't run it at like top 500.
I want to see the red Vegito because he was a huge asset, even on the bench for fusions. Such
Bro,
a
no.
huge
That's
asset.
going to be Bardock all over again with that lock.
I don't even know what they would do with him if his stats go up. He's got lock in. He has 40% to defenses. He's ridiculous already. He's already still on the bench just because of how good his freaking Z ability is. So if his stats go up, he's going to be dangerous.
Already the Super Saiyan Gogeta Zenkai. I mean, he's going to go through the roof if they actually Zenkai Red Vegeta. Like, I think they might do him in 6 months when we get the third Annie. That's what I'm expecting to happen. But
You think it's gonna be fusions?
It's
third Annie?
possible.
oh, I think it's going to be fusions. I think they're going to rerun Red Vegito and do Super Vegito Zenkai on third anniversary here in a bit.
And Brad, don't forget he also gives 20% to strike attack for Vegeta
Oh,
characters, right? On 14 stars.
I know.
So,
The only way
damn.
that they could save it to where I wouldn't absolutely hate it is if they make it Red Vegito units is what he buffs. And they never give us another Vegito.
Red Vegito.
Like, all right. Like,
basically himself.
fine. just him.
Even
That's
though
all
No,
I have a
real
red
talk though.
fusion
But what if
in
his Zenkai ability quite literally is like 15 to 20% to just Vegito units?
It's possible. He's already a Vegito buffer, essentially, right? I mean, the extra 20% is marginal. That's a pretty nice little extra buffer. It's just a 14-star free unit, so it's possible. I don't think they're actually going to do that. They'll probably do red fusions. I don't know. Super Gogeta would be nasty with him on the back end too.
I think
that's ridiculous.
One of the long game sleeper teams that not too many. I mean, I've mentioned it a few times, and I know Palm is excited for it. But when the Red Ginyu Goku and then the EX Ginyu Force all get their Zenkai,
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be, I think, a top
Frieza
meta
Force.
team.
Yeah.
Frieza Ginyu Force, all 6 EXs like free to play, basically. Like that's gonna be insane to deal with in the meta.
Dude, I would ejaculate all my energy into that. All of it.
Okay.
And then some more.
I mean, you know it's coming. I just don't know how they're going to handle the
Literally.
Ginyu Force. Like, are they going to Zenkai all 6 of the Ginyu Force at the same time? Or are they going to do, like, 3 and then 3? Like, how are they going to format that? Like, it needs to happen.
At the same time. I think it would, like, split off on, like, an interactive map like you always do. Like, just split off the different characters.
Yeah, that's going to be a scary team when all 7 of them have Zenkai's access. I mean, like the 6 Ginyu Force, then Goku Ginyu.
The question is, I don't think they would release all of them at once, right? That would be a bit too crazy.
I mean, it'd be a great thing for them to do for something like right now where there's literally nothing going on in the game. Like, that would be a sizable event grind, so they should save it for, you know, I mean...
Dry periods like this, you mean?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I do find really interesting, actually, is that Dokkan is about to hit their high point in 2 weeks, right? The high point of the year for Dokkan is in 2 weeks. And Legends, they time things to where they're dead with the typical Dokkan desert before their anniversary. So it's like, that I find a little bit odd. I feel like these games, rather than trying to compete with each other, they really should be looking to fill in each other's dead areas. Like, I think that would have been much smarter of Legends than trying to do something, I don't know, medium hype next week or something like that, when, like, at that point it's going to be drowned out by UI Goku and Dokkan, right?
Aren't we supposed to have, like, it's speculated that we're hitting the 1,000-day mark in Legends, right? Shouldn't we be getting something, you know, at least a weekday surprise banner or something like that?
I've heard people say, so for Dokkan, they did the Spirit Bomb Goku that takes down Kid Buu at the end of the Buu Saga for their 1,000-day, like, login gift. So I've heard people theorize that blue Spirit Bomb Goku in the Z, not the Z metal, but the rare metal shop could maybe get a Zenkai for 1,000 days or something like that.
I would love that.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Yep. And also overdue.
A blue Saiyan Zenkai,
no,
just what we want.
Really don't get me wrong. Like,
Man, they would have to go above and beyond. Like, hopefully, if they did that, they, like, redesigned his card and some of his animations, too. Because he's, like, other than the Spirit Bomb animation, which is cool, he's, like, super day one vanilla animations in the game. Like, he doesn't have anything that looks really that neat. But that's just my own personal gripe. Like, hopefully they did, like... give out a LL or something for 1,000 days. I'd be happy about that.
I don't even remember his kit. I guess it's like, is it like super short, his kit?
His blast damage.
Makes you on blue card.
Yeah, it's based around
Yeah.
blast
I think
damage.
basically 2 sentences.
Yeah, he has strike defense for
Looking at it
Saiyans.
now.
Let's bring him up.
25% strike defense at max. His
Two,
green card,
yeah.
his green card is 15% damage inflicted for 30 counts. And the Spirit Bomb can feint, 30% chance, and everything else is like...
He literally has the...
One unique.
Other than Hercule, he's got the lowest power level in the game of sparking units. I mean, you could make an argument that non-Zenkai Red Trunks does have a lower power level, but nobody's running this character non-Zenkai at this point, so...
Nah.
Yeah.
He has one unique ability as well.
It's literally this Goku and then Hercule are the bottom 2. Like, it's awful.
Yep. He gets 20% to blast damage when 3 battle members are left. Wow.
that's pretty good.
That's
pretty
incredible.
OP, dude.
But when he came out, he was actually decent when he actually came out. So.
He's a
He was
defense
bad.
type.
The game's growing so much.
Modern day Zenkai units literally have double his blast attack.
Yeah, and he does counterintuitive stuff in his kit, right? Like, his main ability inflicts enemy with tribute downgrade plus 40% to blast damage received, but his blast attack is lower than his strike attack. So it's like, why?
It's to alleviate that, probably.
Yeah.
They wanted to make him balanced, okay?
It's like when they gave Kid Gohan a strike unit double blast cards, just to make sure he wasn't too crazy.
Is this literally it? He has one unique
Yeah.
ability?
One unique. Yeah.
One.
Yep, 1. And don't forget, hey, the +1 to Rising Souls for Kakarot Goku is important.
That doesn't even count.
battle.
That's He has one unique ability that's one sentence long, chat. Oh
I think she's going to have to write a long one for this one.
Or 3.
Yeah.
This is the worst sparking character in the game. Like, at least Hercule has a function where he dies and like buffs your other units and stuff. Like, this is just
green. Look at his green card, 15% damage. OP.
Yeah, but that's just pure damage. That's not strike, blast, or anything. That's actually the most potent form of damage increaser you could have.
Yeah, but what do you do with this?
Well, no, the rest of the unit is dog crap, but the 15, if they do Zenkai him and they make that green card a little bit more interesting, that is just pure damage increase. That is actually kind of decent.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with Nas. They have to go over and beyond, or he's just going to be another Scout of Vegeta. Like, they got to go over and beyond because those old units, they don't Zenkai that crazy, right? Like Trunks is the one that's okay. He's at least defensive. He got a couple more options, but like Scout of Vegeta is just. He's just Scout of Vegeta with better stats.
They need to hire the person that wrote the Bible to come in here and fix his kit. Like, there needs to be paragraphs in here and he's like a total transformation workout.
I really enjoy looking back at these really, really old units to see what they do. Quite entertaining.
Yeah, they might need to give him Zenkai 14 for him to compete. I think someone said that in chat. That would be a realistic thing. So yeah, he's pretty bad. I don't know. I don't want him for a 1,000-day unit. I don't even want him Zenkai'd for 1,000 days. I'd rather just have a new version of him that they gave out.
We're pretty much guaranteed getting the Trunks next, anyways.
It's true. They could do the Goku just for fun, though. It didn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah,
Make him a free one.
This Goku is like an untouched relic from like week 1 of Dragon Ball Legends. Like, this is a window into the past of what this game looked like on day 1.
Was he in the game?
They could make him. But
was he in the game when they started it?
He was there really shortly after. If it wasn't,
like 2 weeks after or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if they just don't Zenkai this piece of crap and they give us a brand new Spirit Bomb LF?
I would love that, because I'm at like 960 days, so I'm really close.
It'd be cool if they gave us just. I don't need another Zenkai, but an actual unique unit. Because I think Dokkan's unique unit was just straight up unique for 1,000 days, right? You couldn't get it any other way.
Yep.
So that sounds cooler than just Zenkaiing the unit that we've all been looking at.
And then on 2,000 days, you got a free EZA for them too, wasn't that it, Truth? Or could anyone do the EZA if they were below 2,000 days, and that's just when they released it, or could only people with 2,000 days do it?
In order to EZA him, you have to log in for 2,000 days, which is a little, because like me right now, me on Dokkan, I'm at 1,300 something, so I still have like almost 2 years to go before I get him.
That's crazy.
I don't know that a 2,000-day unit is the greatest idea. I'm just saying.
I still got like 2 years, so I can even look. Oh god, that's funny. That's basically something for like the day 1 players only, really. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, and then you're taking a niche out of the day 1 players too, of people who played I missed today. I don't know when I missed today, but I'm behind. What's his name? D-Free. He's like the only one I know actually know that has every single day logged in. I missed even one day.
I think I know somebody, but it's global. And I mean, on Dokkan and here on Legends, I mean, my account is not as old because I got banned around the 1st anniversary. Does any of you have full login days?
Like every single day?
Yeah.
I'm at like 870.
I'm at like 960 something.
Yeah, I started on Renzi's pre-release APK, so I even got that head start period on people, but I slacked off, and I'm literally like 957 days because I've missed a few.
I think I have 986, something like that, 987. So I'm like right there.
Yeah, I missed some. I'm slack. What can I say? That's why I'm glad this game doesn't have like a consecutive login bonus. Their only version of consecutive login bonuses in Legends is that you can maybe miss some of the last few rewards if you don't consecutively log in, right? But you don't lose anything from not consecutively logging in if you don't care about like the final reward on the final day, or getting the title from 9-star to 10-star for Sausage Grill Master Summer 2018 or whatever. You know.
Hey. Okay, you're walking on thin ice here. You cannot tell a German, or there's actually 2 Germans here, that they don't want to be the full ass Sausage Grill Master. Okay.
Hey man, I love brats as much as the next guy, so I'll concede on that one.
Pull a sausage on the Barbie.
Brats are life.
Sounds good. Okay, I think before we go into too deep with the bratwursts, we're gonna take a break here, and we're gonna go to the questions. If you want your questions read, make sure that you join either our public Discord or you follow our Twitter. We have a questions thread every Friday before the podcast where you can submit your questions. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and we will see you in 3 minutes.
All right. Well, we're back, but before we move on to the questions, I just wanted to shout out Dondre for giving out 100 bits. I wanted to shout out NathCS as well for giving out some bits 3 separate times. So we appreciate both y'all. You know, Dondre MVP as well. But thank you guys. So I think Professor Palm, you can go ahead and lead us through the questions now.
Oh, I ascended to Professor Palm. I like it. Okay, so we will start with the first question from our public Discord, and that comes from Mustache, asking, what bold predictions do you guys have between now and the 3rd anniversary? Could be the new characters, changes to the meta, how the guild versus guild mode will integrate into daily with PvE, or what might happen during April Fools. Just shoot. And they're saying they are thinking launch coming during Valentine's.
I actually think launch coming is a realistic thing. Like, she'd be a great transforming unit for this game. Like, starts off with the blue hair, more of a supportive unit, then uses the main ability. She sneezes, gets the yellow hair, the Uzi, the rocket launcher. She'd be a shoo-in for this game. So that's a good idea.
I want her to be able to transform 3 times with a green card or something.
Oh, to go back and forth between blue hair and yellow hair? Yeah.
That would be awesome, because you could then actually kind of steer it. It's like, okay, now I need more support, green card, swap out buffs or something, you know? But other than that, April Fools, Super Saiyan Hercule, maybe?
Or failed fusions.
Yeah.
Veku and the skinny and fat Gotenks, huh?
Yeah, I would like to see some failed fusions up in here.
So last year's April Fools came with only a cosmetic for Shallot and the fake car racing, the filler episode event, but they didn't actually do like an in-game event or anything. It was just like a fake message. Then they've already done the Nappa everyday stuff as well to beat down on Nappa even more. Super Saiyan Hercule sounds like it could be a good April Fool's event. Other than that, I mean,
they could Zenkai the Nappa with a hair.
Other than that, they could do like some type of Mr. Popo's training or something like that. Because Popo has been underutilized in Legends as well. Like, what does he even have an equipment with him on it? I don't even think so.
No.
So
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think a Popo event could be funny.
Yeah, I want to see a SSJ3 Reddit. The hair even longer.
Stepping on it during the fight.
Or just don't even change the hair. Just start making it glow. I can go for that.
Yep.
And bold predictions. Well, hopefully, I know that the timing's not going to be perfect, but it's very close. I hope that they coincide Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta dropping in Legends somewhat relatively in line with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta dropping in Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's about 3 months away, which roughly could line up with the game's anniversary, which also falls in line with Professor Sensei saying that he's thinking a Fusions-themed anniversary. So all that could line up, and that would be my bold prediction. And of course, GT, not so much Fusions, but GT really needs a powerhouse unit to bring them back. And with the Guild vs. Guild little dungeon mode, I don't know. Right now is the perfect time for them to be working on that because there's not much else going on in the game. So hopefully they are continuing to hammer out some of the issues with new game modes. I would love for there to be like a really off the wall game mode, like how in Kakarot you have the card warriors. I would love for there to be like a whole sub game mode within Legends that really blows my mind. And like how I didn't even imagine that they would be adding this to the game. Right? I would love something like that. And if that's the guild versus guild little dungeon mode, and you place units and play like a pseudo game of chess or something, whatever. Just like let me see it. I'm thirsty for it. That's what I want.
Yeah,
Or
that
we can
guild that they teased 500 years ago for sure.
Yeah, and that's where like, because correct me if I'm wrong, because you've been following JP Doken, and all that situation much longer, Truth. But like historically, Japanese game developers have not even been interested in communicating with a global audience. It's only recently, within the past like 2 to 3 years, that they've tried to start reaching out, like doing like the Legends and Stuff podcast, the Global Doken. They have like a web YouTube now, or they do their videos for that. Like other Japanese game companies too, right? So I think they're still kind of learning, and that was one of their mistakes, where there has to be a fine line of communication, because if you say too much, you set too high of standards for yourself, and then you can set yourself up for failure. But if you don't say anything, then it's just like the Wild West, right? Like,
Yeah, it's only recently where they even started doing Twitter for Global Dokkan. 6 years in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, as for a game mode, do you remember the first Battlefield on Dokkan? It was so different from how the actual gameplay was.
Yeah.
And now it's just back to the regular bubble popping. I don't
Well,
know, for
that
some
was-
reason, I kind of enjoyed it. It was just too hard.
Yeah, yes, it's such a disappointment because it was so different, but it's just like, yeah, they made it like so difficult for like anyone that wasn't a whale at the time. Like you needed like a full box of amazing units because it was just so overwhelming. And it's like they heard the criticism and they're just like, whatever, we're just gonna cancel it. We're gonna completely can it. When like now it's like that would be refreshing. Like I would love for them to bring that back, right? Just again, like tone down a little bit the amount of characters that were on screen.
But I mean, yeah, Dead Yamcha. We need Dead Yamcha for sure.
Yeah.
what about you,
I don't-
Tom? What would you answer to this question?
I want to see them build up the GT team. Like, Zenkai all of them and then drop SSJ4 Gogeta on the anniversary.
I mean, they could drop
Yeah.
SSJ4 Gogeta on anniversary, Zenkai, the Super Vegito, and then have another Zenkai of the free-to-play Vegito. Then you got yourself quite a hype year 3, if you ask me.
It's crazy because like GT, because they're doing the entirety of GT, it's not hard for them to build that into a competent tag. They're just choosing not to. You have so many options they could do, right? Like, like a Hellfighter 17 and normal 17, like a cis character, like you just go down the line. Oob has nothing in Legends. Like it would be not hard for them to build a really good team there. Like there's not the Super Saiyan 3 like GT Kid Goku. Like you just have infinite options. There's like, nah, we're good. We'll just let the team completely die.
Yeah.
I agree with Tom with GT, and it'd be cool to see a giant ape implemented somehow in it, even if it's just like an animation for a super attack or something. Be cool to see that come in, like baby, like giant ape or something. Be crazy because I actually did enjoy that.
He should get an LL, and that should be his animation.
Be crazy, like his animation just stomps on him or something, and it's just it looks so cool.
They've also already, like, Legends has already done this. Like, they brought out that EX Sin Shenron who has a Shadow Dragon specific tag, and yet they've completely forgotten about, like, Ice and Novo Shenron and shit like that. Like, why? Like, come on. I understand Goresh says is that because GT just doesn't sell, like, it doesn't push sales. Well, if they're worried about that, then just start including them in banners with other hype units that will push sales. And then you're building up the GT tag at the same time as you get your sales. Like,
so we could look at Dokkan, right? Dokkan dropped Lord Slug as a summonable unit, and that got top grossing. You wanna know why? Because he was on the same banner as LR Bardock. So it's like, Lord Slug got top grossing. So easy to do stuff like that, right?
Well, what about the fact like Fighters is making Baby look pretty freaking cool right about now? I think it's also about presentation. Like if they make him a really cool, powerful opponent, give him the Ozaru form. I think that would sell on its own,
Yeah, and for now with Legends and the big, huge characters, I think it would just be like a feature of his Ultimate Arts animation. But even that would be good enough, right? Like,
yeah. I like GT. I'd like to see a whole dragon team as well. I would run that. I'd love it.
I think one more thing that I just came back to that I talked about earlier, not in this podcast, is customizable friend battles. And one thing that we're now seeing is also, I remember that some tournaments said no Zenkai. So what would be cool would be stuff like disable certain stuff like Rising Rush, or say, okay, paralysis is impossible, but also having the opportunity to say all units revert to their non-Zenkai form. So you play without Zenkais at all.
I mean, then
you
the
just
units are
wouldn't
just
choose these
worthless.
Wait, one at a time. Prof, go ahead.
Like the units are worthless at that point. If you want to run Red Trunks, then you're back to the point where Red Trunks is garbage. Like the issue is that they didn't tone Zenkai down. They made it premium and better than everything else, unless you have the latest LF at 14th star.
Yeah, I mean, it's just being able to customize it. You don't have to use it, but you can.
Well, yeah, but the issue is if... Oh, sorry, yeah.
I was basically saying the same as Prof. You basically wouldn't run a non-Zenkai version of that unit. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had just I mean, for friend battle customization, it would be okay, I guess, but just more options there. It wouldn't hurt, I wouldn't think. I think another amazing idea, going full circle back to bold predictions, like something that Toshi specifically said in one of the video and stuff videos, which I think was one of the greatest ideas I've ever heard for Legends, but unfortunately he said the upper management poo-pooed it, was he suggested a mode where you queue into battle, but you pick your enemy's team. You don't pick your own fighters, right? That would be like the coolest thing ever, because you pick who you're going against, but your enemy's picking who you're going. So like, there's all types of head games that go into that, and you actually have to bring like 6 functional units, because if you just bring like a really weak bench, then your opponent could take advantage of that. Like, I think that would be the coolest thing ever, but bureaucracy and whatnot.
All right, I think we can move on to the next question. And the next question is also from our Discord, from Coffee Red Fox, asking, what underrepresented character would you like to see get a unit, or if they're already in the game, a Zenkai?
I mean, we pretty much kind of covered that a little bit with our last question. I think Super Baby 2 would be a prime choice for a Zenkai. And Garlic Jr. Garlic Jr. is the underrepresented character that I want to see get a unit. Every time someone asks me this is going to be my answer. Garlic MFN Jr.
Yeah, because again, that's literally one of like the 5 characters that Dokkan doesn't have yet in 6 years. Legends should take advantage of that. Yeah, and drop Garlic Jr. Absolutely.
He could be, if you want to go full meme, he could be a Legends Limited, and the Dead Zone could have an LL finish.
I don't know about all that now.
But even still, he could have Ultimate Arts with the Dead Zone, and they could just spice it up and make it look like the Spirit Bomb absorbed movies Goku. How his animation looks like it could be an LF, but it's not. Like, come on, do that with the Dead Zone. Like,
he would make sense now, because he would be on regeneration with his immortality, right?
Yeah.
Like in the arc, he straight up does just regen.
Yeah, like Gohan or Krillin punches a hole right through him, and he just closes the hole up because he's immortal. Huh.
None of y'all are talking about our Moe Mighty Mask.
Ooh, yeah, I totally forgot about him.
He would honestly be a good April Fool's unit that they could actually bring to the game and not just make a fake news post about, right? Like, that would be a great April Fool's unit.
Revival, too. He splits into a duo unit. Oof.
Or maybe like at half HP, he defused, like their costume rips, and then it's...
No, it's a defusion. You were correct.
Yep, they fused at the shoulder and the foot. I forgot.
About the GT, I'd like to see just Baby like the original form, like transform or something like that.
A transforming version of Baby would be great.
Like the original truffle, like the original Baby, you have like the alien guy, and then he transforms like into the other guys. That'd be pretty cool. Because I like Baby Vegeta too. The one with the spikes on his shoulders. That guy, is that his name?
Yeah, it's his second stage.
I like that one.
And he's not represented in Legends at all yet, so they could do a version of him where he transforms into Super Baby too, or like you said, the truffle, and then into, Baby needs more. GT just needs more, period. Like
GT Goten.
Oh yeah. And
like,
go on.
I can't imagine having the kid Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like Truth said, that was a transforming unit into Super Saiyan 4 Goku with sick animation. Like, I couldn't imagine that wouldn't sell. Like, if it was timed properly, like, not railroaded right after something that was more hype, then like I think that would do very well.
Yeah, I think it would.
I want to see OG Dragon Ball characters more. Like they have the tag, but they have no units except the Kid Goku and Demon King.
And
Roshi.
Got
That's
Bunny
Roshi.
Bulma.
I want to see Jackie Chun.
Yeah.
there we
I
go.
want to see Buff Roshi.
Yeah, where's Buff Roshi in all this? I want to see.
I need him.
Transforming Roshi would be great.
Yeah.
Kid Chi-Chi and the Ox King, of course.
I think we might have pitched that idea before, but if they do transforming Roshi, they need to give him the same mechanic Kaioken Goku has, to where after he does his blue card, he detranses.
And then he turns terrible.
Yeah, but just give him like just absolute nuke of a blue card once you land it.
No. It's like like a kamikaze version.
I mean,
All right.
I'm with it. I want to see more Dragon Ball Saga stuff too, like young Piccolo. You could even have a Demon King Piccolo that spits up an egg and it turns into Piccolo. Have like the Endurance 2.0, like how the Cell does, right? They could do DKP, then he dies, he spits up the egg, and it turns into young Piccolo after the transformation. I think that would be sick.
That would be amazing.
And then you fight the kid.
Yeah, like in the World Tournament where young Piccolo was fighting like 21-year-old Goku or whatever.
That works. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I think I'll direct that one to Tom because Chad has been asking for you and you're still here, right? No. So the question comes from Puni asking, what would you think about a revamp on the PvP ladder system with regional ladders and some kind of Champions League for the top 50 of each ladder?
I think a regional ladder is needed heavily because I think Prof and I and you right now as well are in the same situation. Then we're searching for opponents, we're not getting them, and the JP people are just like queuing, getting the fights. And if we ever would want to go for number one, like we just can't do it if we don't spend 24 hours at the game. I think that would be best.
So you're saying it's an issue trying to queue into PvP and then just sitting there for hours, not getting matches?
To be fair,
Yes.
this is that was all a byproduct of them revamping the queue system where you have to find an opponent within 1500 RP of you. It wasn't really a problem before that.
It's not even 1500. I've gotten people out of that range.
Yeah, I mean that's what it prioritizes, but the chances you could still get one outside that range.
Right,
my solution for that would just be like you're a certain time in the queue and then it lowers the requirement for people you can fight. Like go 500 RP, lower. That would fix the current situation, in my opinion. But regional ladder system would be the best, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Because he already touched on the issue. I know Goresh has said this as well. Like, when the Japanese player base, they're so close to each other, they're so concentrated, and they can only queue with people in their own Asian server, so they just have the priority for farming for top rank. Like over here, it's just we don't get that. I might be waiting 5 minutes and then queue from someone in Brazil or something like that. Like there's no.
So the match lasts 20.
Yeah, there's no competitive way to keep up with the Japanese players, and that's just strictly based off of the geography of the connections and stuff, right?
So something one chat that doesn't understand, at second anniversary they changed the queue system because I saw a couple people mentioned Bebop getting it. It's not the same way anymore. You used to be able to run into people way lower than you. What they need to do is go back to that, because anybody that's played PvP understands that just because someone's battle rank 56k RP doesn't mean they don't have a whaled out team, doesn't mean that they haven't been top 100 before, because it resets every season and a lot of people do their grind at the end of the season. So your current rank really isn't indicative of your skill anymore. What they need to do is let you be able to queue against everybody going back to a certain threshold, right? 6-7k RP, you're probably a confident player at that point, right? And they need to increase the win streak rewards. So if you're just crushing it and you got like 15, 20 matches in a row, you're starting to get the same RP as if you fought somebody at your same level. You can still cap this out. So if you find somebody at your level, you don't get like 250k RP, right? But you can still get a good amount for winning consecutively. And I think that's going to be the key here.
Yeah, it definitely needs a rework. They basically fixed half the problem. They fixed the queue so that you wouldn't be fighting people so low below you that you're only getting like 1 RP, but then when you lost, you'd lose like 150. But in doing that, it has just brought to light more problems within the system, right? So it definitely needs more work, a lot more work.
Or maybe just open up the region if the ping is somewhat acceptable.
Yeah, Tom is in Germany, and he queues versus me. I can't find anybody over in EU, and we have a fine connection. So yeah, if there's like a ping test saying that you know connecting to the player is going to be like less than 100, let us go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tom queues about you because his account is region locked to the NA server, right?
Yep.
Because I don't queue with anyone from NA.
Yeah, Europe should not be queuing from North America. They all have... Basically, it's North America, South America are on one server, which is why we end up fighting with people in Brazil. Then Europe has its own server, and then Asia has its own server.
So my thing is though that you know when I was looking at showing my stream the leaderboard, right, and the fact that you can usually find someone 1,500 to 2,000 below you in RP as the literal maximum, but it's typically 1,500, right, after you pass BR 50. So you know, if you look at the leaderboard, especially if you get in the top 100, there's quite literally at one point yesterday only 150 possible players that I could run into on the ladder. And out of that 150 possible players, they need to be online and they need to be on the North American server and they need to not get queued versus somebody else. The requirements for finding a match is stupid. I can't tell you guys how many times Tom has just gone into my chat and sniped me just because I'm the only other person he could run into.
Yeah, I can literally press the PvP button and I find Prof.
It's a joke. He can call it in the chat, and then we can queue a 1 versus 1 versus each other right now, and it's almost guaranteed.
That also illustrates other problems, which I know have been mentioned before, of how certain players, potentially Asian allegedly, or from other areas, have been able to boost like their way up the leaderboards, right? Because in that situation, like you and Tom, if you guys are always queuing together, you could rig up a system where you guys are win trading and...
Well, that's been in the game since the start.
Yeah.
All these accounts you guys are seeing where you're like, why would that guy spend his time to farm 12,000 RP on an account that's clearly going to get banned? It's because the guy that's actually grinding his rank is expecting to run into that account and give himself free wins. That is 100% the reason. It's still in here today. It's why people do it. You just don't advertise it too much.
Yeah, so win
trading
this problem as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have one right now. I think he's rank 3 or 4. I beat him and he still gained RP. So.
Well, that's just cheating.
Yeah, but I mean, he might have another friend or another account that he's boosting with that and try to run into him. But that's just speculation.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately.
I think we move on to the next one, or do you want to say something quick, Nas?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, the next question is from Ryan Taylor on Twitter, one of our regulars on pretty much all the streams here. Shout out to you, Ryan. Do you think the Zenkai ability of color buffers will buff both their own color and the color that they're advantageous against? Because currently Zenkai units require both sorts of souls for Zenkai. So blue Zenkais would also buff red, like the Bora, for example.
Oh, I'm assuming like the EX ones, like the Android 14 EX blue one, right?
But that one's not advantageous. That's actually color cover kind of. So I think what he means is more like the blue unit that would also buff blue and red.
Well, like what about something like specifically one I've already thought about is Rage Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. He's a blue and purple strike buff, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was the first of its kind when it came to the sparking units.
Red and purple.
Yeah, red and purple strike attack,
red
right?
And purple. Yep.
So, like, I would love to see him get a Zenkai, and then kind of like how the free-to-play Zenkais work, where he only gives 25-30% to the tags. Or not tags, the colors. But
multiple colors.
Yeah, so I would love to see that in the future.
I think that would be cool. And it will also make some units like him, but also, tagless Deborah more relevant.
God,
Pycon. Dude, Pycon will become a god. Let's do it.
That's true. I would wonder though, what would they do with Hercule? Because his Z ability right now is just minus X to blue card cost, right?
He might get a special case, like
Cell Saga?
Sorry.
he's
Cell Saga?
Yeah, he could do units that are red and Cell Saga. That would work out real well for the Zenkai Red Cell and the Reviving Cell.
Oh, he would buff Hercule units so that X Hercule gets more prominent because he's such a nice unit to play against.
Or alternatively, if you look at the hero Hercule, whose Z ability is specifically for Majin Buu stuff, it could fall in line with that as well.
True.
I think
Yeah,
we
they
hit a
should
point.
start building out those saga tags.
I
to,
agree.
Like, for like, I don't know, maybe Deborah. Poor
Yeah.
Deborah.
Yeah, they tried it with the Raditz, the Feet Goku, and the LL Piccolo, but then like they kind of fall off. Like they try it here and there, and then they don't stick to it. It's a sad day. But yeah, this is one of those questions where it's kind of hard to predict the future. Like they could literally do anything, and I definitely see this as being something they could do with units that otherwise you'd be like, well, what are they going to buff? I don't know. Adds more value for sure.
Yeah, and personally, I think that there also wouldn't be the unit that they're advantageous about. Like blue, I think blue would buff blue and purple, if anything. And not
Yeah,
blue
to
and red.
strengthen your team as opposed to screw over the enemy or something, right?
Pretty much. All right, I think we have time for maybe 2 more questions. The next one comes from Gori Homesh, and they're asking, how do you guys think that the developers can quote-unquote nerf broken units in the meta without making the next unit more broken?
This is the science of power creep, this question right here. And traditionally, the only way that you can, unless they physically actually go in and alter cards, which is very, very rare. They can do it. It's not false advertising. They can go in and alter characters. It's just very rare a gacha game will do that because of how overwhelmingly negative the response would be to that, because people essentially paid to get that unit, right? But it's not illegal. But traditionally, they only can nerf older units by releasing new ones that counter the old ones. The only really other way I could see Legends doing it is like how they indirectly nerf characters by changing the whole battle system, right? Like how the tackle change brought about the downfall of how powerful Namek Goku was, or how the changes to sidestep and stuff originally hurt the Purple Broly back in the day, or made him better after they changed it. Sorry, like they nerfed sidestep and all that stuff. Then they released Purple Broly, who's like selling those buffs right back to you that they took away. So altering the game mechanics, I think, would be really one of the only ways that they could like nerf characters without a hugely overwhelming response.
Well, a big example of that, right, was the Pan like years ago. She was obviously broken when she got released.
Yeah,
and she got nerfed by the battle system being changed. So
the sidestep being removed or nerfed, and she had key recovery off the chain.
Yeah.
So you also have a situation like when Yellow Gohan was being called Cancer Han and controlling the entire game. They released a couple units, then finally they just dropped Red Janemba. It clearly said Gohan can go screw himself, right? Like everything about that character destroyed Gohan unequivocally, And so, and he specifically was against, movie units as a red. So we get a new blue unit that is super effective to Super Saiyan 2s, or specifically to Gohan, or maybe, Zenkai Chi-Chi. That's how you drive the final nail in the coffin, is that you can't rely on these units anymore.
Yeah, basically a hard counter.
Yeah, just a stupid hard counter. I mean, the Green Chi-Chi's been tossed around. She has like 80% damage to Sun Family, right? So if she comes out and she's super viable and the girls' team is one of the top teams, obviously Region's not going to care about Chi-Chi. But all these Sun Family teams running around are starting to, reconsider themselves.
Yeah. Or blowing more purple.
No, she's type immune too, isn't she?
This I don't know.
With the main, I think.
Yeah, so Chi-Chi just executes you.
Do you have any insight from the Dokkan side, Truth? Like how could they nerf things that are too strong without physically changing? Like, have they even done that in Dokkan?
Not. Well, I mean, it's a completely different type of system, right? Whereas in Legends, like, it's a PvP based, right? So like, that Gohan is a little much for a PvP game, right? Like if you don't have another Gohan ready to go up against him, there's nothing you. How do you defend against Gohan? It's impossible.
Rising Rush.
Oh, my Gohan ate an FSK today.
I've full mono blue against Gohan. He just pops his main. You're dead. So I don't know. Like Dokkan doesn't have that same issue, right? Because it's not PvP based, and hopefully they're not going to do PvP. So it's like they just are like, oh, we just released this crazy unbalanced unit. We'll just do it again. Whatever. Who cares? It's basically how Dokkan handles it.
Brad, what do you think?
Good talk.
Was that for me?
Good talk.
Yeah.
Yes, I was building teams on Legend. My bad.
How do you think they can nerf broken units without making the next one more broken?
I mean, I really honestly I don't know, because it's a very fine line. You got, especially Dokkan is one thing you can just snap a unit and be like, hey, look, it's more fun, great, because it's just PvE. But in this, it's a very fine line. We learned with Gohan and Vegeta Blue that it can easily just step one too far over. I don't really know a proper way to do it, though, because there's so many factors that go into this kind of thing. You have to look more at the team and what does it bring to the team, because you look at something like Nameku, he doesn't bring a whole lot to Sun Family besides being a Goku that dies, right? He doesn't bring anything else, but he's not buffing Sun Family, stuff like that. Or does he buff Sun Family? I don't remember.
He's just saying
Super Saiyan,
He's
Saiyan.
just saying both attacks. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So he doesn't. I think that's kind of the way that you nerf these OP units, because if you're going to release a unit like that and give him a Zenkai, do whatever else, it can't be buffing like so many different things. Imagine if he did buff Sun Family on top of dying and giving Gohan all that extra attack and everything in his arsenal. So more units like that are just prioritized towards one specific team, but kind of filter into other ones if they need to. That's where I think it shines a lot more if you bounce it across the board instead of saying he's just this team and the next 4 units are just this team. You know, that's where it's like, all right, come on, man. Because remember, Sun Family was nothing. Then Gohan came out and Sun Family went to number 1 in like a month. So it's a really fine line. I'm not a dev, so luckily I don't have to make the decision.
I mean, for
talk
me,
crap about it when they do it wrong.
one thing I think they can do is just, but it will take time, is just release units for every tag that are. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily talk about Gohan because I think he's an outlier, but level the playing field in terms of tags. So make sure that you release very good units for every team, and then this will also distribute, the usage of different teams more, as to where, when you want to compete in PvP, you don't have to use this one team, or you can just basically die trying.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Spread it out among a couple different things instead of prioritizing that one thing. I use Gohan as an example because, like you said, he's the outlier. But it was mainly Nameku in that situation where he can be Super Saiyans. You can even run him on Mono Blue. You got a stacked enough squad to do that with Bardock. It's totally doable. It's a little rough with Vados and stuff, but it's totally doable. Yeah, spread it out. The more teams they have access to without placing priority on one, then that helps people who get that one unit. Maybe it just helps bench another team, buff it up. That's how you kind of mitigate. But there's always going to be power creep. We were all talking about like Spirit Bomb Goku. Think about how different the game is. I would have never thought we'd be in this kind of spot when you go back to playing old matches where you used like Hero Krillin and stuff like that, So there's kind of no way around it. It's going to always be a little bit like that, especially in this game. If Dokkan had PvP, it'd be the same way. They have to release the hype stuff to get you to summon on it, and then you have your regret and you skip the next banner.
All right, I think we have time for one more. I'm going to rephrase this slightly and ask how or what would the meta for region and androids look like if Revival Cell was blue back then?
That's an obscure question.
I mean, I think he would have fit the meta better, and they would have had the blue unit they needed this whole time, and you'd be seeing a lot more androids. I mean, the fact that he's red still isn't a detriment, because red, green, yellow works pretty well. But it just, Android 18 would have had a cover this whole time, a color cover, which would have made the team that much more viable. It's pretty much the same for, like, Regen, because they already have, like, some type of functional red units here and there, but I mean, they only have Baby in terms of blue. I mean, you could do the Gotenks Boo, but he's not really that good, so. I don't know. I just think it would have made those teams viable sooner than waiting all this time for 21. Like, they would have been more annoying to deal with, but...
I mean, personally, I think for androids, it would probably be very similar because we still see this androids team of 16, 18, and Cell. And it would still be the same composition because it's still the full cover wheel where 21 cover, 18 covers 16, and then Cell would cover, her. And this way, Cell is covered by 16. So I think it's the same. But for regen, I agree. Especially now with the 2 yellow Zenkai 7s, that blue unit would have made a lot of difference. Like right now, I don't think Baby would even be in the team or just as a bench.
I think it'd be more of a detriment to the future team than anything else. Like, I don't know. They have the red cover change Goku, but he's been a staple since then, and I think his red typing was pretty wonderful for actually countering 18 and being a staple. I don't know, and a lot of people, I saw someone in chat, talking about how the red Zenkai Cell would have sold better, but I think that was very intentionally released to just be as a bench for him. I feel like it was a good call. Maybe I'm alone there.
Yeah, I mean, that unit is pretty powerful just innately because of what he can do. So, I don't know. Him being red wasn't bad, but him being blue might have been a little bit more impactful for sure.
He's also one of the best non-Zenkai units, and I think making him blue, he would definitely be number 1. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he's right there with the green Goku Black is like best non-Zenkai, non-LL units.
Yep. All right, I think with that was the final question for today. So make sure to follow us on all the social medias. I'm going to put the command right there. So you can follow us. Check out our link tree. We have Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, and anything I missed? I think that's it. Also, make sure to check out all our creators. Tom, Brad, The Truth, Dragon Ball Joe, Nas, Prof. We're all active on Twitch or YouTube, so you can find us or just find our Twitters, and the links are over there. With that said, we hope you have a wonderful week. Nas, are you going to take over and stream something right now, or?
I probably will here within the next 10 to 20 minutes. Unless Truth, are you going to be busy for a little bit doing some stuff for your channel, or what's your schedule?
Yeah, I got some vids to take care of, but we'll hop on later.
All right, cool. So the plan for the rest of the day, chat, is I'll take over with Nate. We'll do some either Terraria or Star Wars. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Genshin crew will be on for a couple hours doing some Ganyu stuff, I would assume. I don't know for sure. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, roughly, is when Truth will be able to take over. And I think the plan is to finish Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah, I'll do that tonight.
All right, so we have a full afternoon and evening worth of entertainment planned out for y'all. Hopefully you can stick around. So if you have not followed already, be sure to hit that button so you can catch the notifications when we go live. And you can pick out, we can watch all the streams, or you can pick out your favorite ones to watch. So that's what we're trying to offer for y'all here. But on the Legends side, I think we're pretty much good to close it out for today. Back to you, Palm.
Well, that's pretty much it. Have a good rest of your week. This podcast will premiere on YouTube tomorrow. That's 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Central European time. That should be 4 p.m. Eastern. And we will have League and stuff because I saw it in the chat coming back up this week. We had some things to fix, but we will explain that in the videos. And with that said, have a great rest of your week. We will see you all in a week from now. And with that, take care, everybody. Bye-bye, 5-9 gamers.